Well, I grew up in Skokie, and I grew up in a Jewish family. I didn't really question things when I was younger, and I knew that there was a God. I didn't really know anything personally. I had really no relationship with God. I wanted to become a paramedic. I got on my first fire department, was having a blast, and I got the career that I always wanted. I got married, and a couple years after that, I had a brain tumor. I was dizzy. Next thing you know, I'm being pushed around in a wheelchair. People are talking to me about, getting affairs in order, and it's just like, what, are you kidding? And somehow I made it through that. Came back to work a couple months after that, and everything seemed fine. And then about 4 years after that, I had stage 3 colon cancer. Life stopped. It was just basically, I had a 2-year-old son at the time, and I thought, my son's gonna be here without a father. Originally, when I got diagnosed, I was put in a group with 5 other people that all had stage 3 colon cancer, all advanced cancer, and I'm the only one left now. A couple years after that came the divorce, and that was really it. That was the point where I was lost. I didn't know what was gonna happen next. The guys at the firehouse knew what was going on, and this one guy that I was friends with, he came and saw me when I was in the hospital with cancer. And one day after the divorce, he was talking to me, and he's like, you really should give Harvest a try. What do you got to lose? And for some reason, it just clicked that, what do I have to lose? It was on September 11th, 2005. Got directed into the shuttle parking lot. And got out, and some people were walking this way and some people walking this way, and I didn't know what direction to go. And I saw this girl walking in front of me, and I asked her, excuse me, am I going the right way to go to church? And she said, yeah, I'll walk with you. So we sat together during the service. I left the service, and the girl walked with me back to the parking lot, and I stood in the parking lot talking to her for 45 minutes.
And that's when I learned that he had recently been divorced, and he had a son, and he had gone through colon cancer and a brain tumor, and he's telling me all this in this parking lot, and my jaw is just dropping.
There was a lot of spiritual conversations, and a lot of questions I had about Harvest and just being Christian in general. My plan's not working. James was giving a message, and there was an altar call, and when he was talking about accepting Jesus, everything just seemed to make sense.
I started crying, and I was just so thankful that God had brought him to a place where he could be humbled and accept the living God into his heart.
And after a couple months, we started dating, and now we got married this past July. I look at my cancer experience as the biggest thing in my life. It wasn't a curse at all, it was a gift, and that experience brought me here. After accepting Christ, everything makes sense. It's all about him. I'm probably in better shape now than when I was 29. It's something that through cancer I've started exercising, and I started running marathons. I ran my first marathon after I finished, 5 months after I finished chemotherapy. And after I came to Christ, it became less about me, more about honoring him. The scripture, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that's something that I have in my heart. That's something I have on my running shirt. I will never forget when I was getting chemotherapy, there was a man probably in his 70s also getting chemotherapy. And I asked him, are you scared to die? And he's like, well, I'm more scared about living but not being alive. And to say that is what is accepting Christ is all about. You can be living and be walking around and already be dead. And with Christ, you're alive. Everything has meaning. It's all about him. It's all about his word and honoring him. And if I pay attention to that, everything is right.